Hello, this is Andreas from Nordic Tarot. This time around I brought you a love reading for the start of October. And as always, these readings are general. So not everyone's gonna have a message, it's not gonna resonate with everyone, and I'm sorry if it doesn't. But as always, you can get more information about how to contact me and on the decks I use in the description below. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy your readings. Hey, what's up, Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising? And what's up is right. Goodness me, you had some heavy energies going around. Let's begin. Your underlying energy is the devil. The question this card asks you is, what has power over you? You're feeling stuck. You're feeling chained down by something. Maybe it's old habits. Maybe it's old ways of being that you don't like. And, it can even be literal addiction. Cigarettes, drugs, alcohol, sex even. But the question is, like I said, let me reiterate immediately, what has power over you? That's the question the devil card asks you. And a lot of people, I think, get kind of iffy when they see certain cards like the devil or the tower or death, but they aren't necessarily as scary or as negative as people kind of make them out to be. Because one facet of the devil energy is that you have, let's say you have these chains around your neck and, the devil is there kind of representing the habit or the addiction or whatever it is that has power over you, but you can remove these chains. You do have that power. And I think recognizing that gives you a lot of power. And I understand if that is still really difficult, but I feel like the devil is more there to remind you that this is, like the devil is there representing what that thing is, but all the power is still in your hands. You have the ability to unchain yourself. And moving on to the problem circumstance or the heart of the reading, you have the Four of Pentacles, and this is another card that asks you a question: what is of value to you? What do you value? Is it time? Is it love? Is it attention? Is it your energy? What is of value to you? Is this something that you're feeling quite defensive about? Something you might not want to spend? The Four of Pentacles is often called the Miser's card. This is someone who is defensive. They are very protective. Like the Miser has these four coins or these four pentacles, and he is holding on to them. He's protecting them because they are, like I imagine, very valuable to him. I don't think that's much of a leap to imagine that that would be what it is. And of course, if you are so protective and kind of don't want to spend any of those pentacles in this case, then you won't lose them, but you also won't have more. Because if you are so protective, you can't invest them. You can't spend them to then make some back or to grow what you have into something more. And, the Four of Pentacles is crossed by the Eight of Swords, which is another card that's talking about someone who's stuck, and this time it's someone who's stuck in their own head. The Devil, the Four of Pentacles, and the Eight of Swords, there is no movement. It's someone who is in one place and is stuck there of their own volition or because of a situation or someone else, and it's something, and with the Devil is someone who is perhaps feeling stuck because of a habit or a behavior or some kind of pattern of being or not having enough information maybe. Then the Eight of Swords is someone who's stuck in their own head. They don't know how to think. They don't know how to get out of a situation. Look at this card. This is someone who's in a circle of swords and they're blindfolded and they just don't know how to turn. They don't know how to maneuver to get out of where they are. And then you have to think, yes, maybe this person can't do major movements and move around a lot, but maybe there are some small changes. Maybe trying to remove the blindfold a little bit at the time, for example. And then in the end, you will be able to see. You can see what's around you, and you can easily maneuver out of this circle of swords. And of course, swords represent our thoughts. And like I said, the Eight of Swords is about being stuck in your own head. The Four of Pentacles is about not investing, about being very defensive and holding on to what's valuable to you, not spending anything. which, can also be kind of being stuck somewhere because you can't move forward. Like, yes, you have what you hold on to, but you can have more than that. And again, the devil, behavioral patterns, habits, addictions, something that's holding us back maybe. So the first 3 cards just makes it look as if you feel very stuck, and it must be so incredibly frustrating and scary and worrisome. Like, I'm really feeling for you, Leo, because it must be so difficult to be in this kind of situation. And of course, I understand if this is extra difficult for you because Leos are used to being bold. I mean, they are the strength card, they are the sun card. So you having these kind of energies must be so frustrating and so difficult. Your past energy is the 3 of Pentacles. This is a card that's talked about planning for the future. This is having a stable foundation before taking the next step. And I have to say, your past, present and future energies are looking quite promising. Because then in the past you did have this 3 of Pentacles energy. You do have a stable foundation to move on from here. And this can also be that you've been planning something with someone else. Because the 3 of Pentacles often speaks of a group of people working together to build something. So is this you having met someone and planning for the future in a relationship? Were you already in a relationship and you're planning for the future with them? The present energy is the 7 of Pentacles. This is someone planting their seeds. It's the planning phase over and now you're moving into action. And the 7 of Pentacles energy can also be frustrating because it does speak a bit about patience. It's sustained effort. You have to put a lot of work into these seeds that you plant with the 7 of Pentacles. How do you plant them? How do you work with these seeds to gain the kind of fruit that you want or that you can expect a good return of, And in the future, you have the High Priestess. The High Priestess is someone who has a lot of answers. It's someone who's incredibly intuitive. It's the card for the tarot. So, it can be psychic abilities. The High Priestess is the keeper of knowledge. She has the answers. And I'm kind of feeling that this would perhaps be your energy. And I want to just quickly jump ahead to the moon. The moon can be one of those scary energies because it is about confusion and not seeing things for what they are and not having all the information. But with the High Priestess here, the moon also becomes a very intuitive card, where it kind of oozes intuition. And I do feel like this reading is kind of about finding answers, because your crowning energy is the Page of Swords. It can sometimes be about spying and learning things, but the Page of Swords is an information gatherer. And especially with the moon being here, which is a card that speaks of confusion and not knowing and not having the answers, then it's kind of like, well, if your crowning energy or your advice card is the Page of Swords, which is about finding information and gathering information and like, what are the answers, then will that lead to the High Priestess energy in the future? Someone who has all the answers, someone who does know. I mean, I think that is a huge potential, especially because you have the devil underlying what is, especially since you do have the devil underlying what has power over you. You do have the 4 of Pentacles, what is of value to you? And like 2 cards asking you those kinds of questions, but then you're kind of blocked, I feel like, with the 8 of Swords, that you are stuck in your own head and you don't know these answers. And then that kind of energy being reinforced with the moon being here as well. So I feel like this is about finding out answers. It's finding a path, answering some questions. And the Page of Swords would be extremely helpful in doing that. And like I said, the High Priestess does have all the answers. She knows, she is the keeper of knowledge. And in your feelings with the Fool is a card that to me speaks of kind of excitement because it's a new beginning. It's a leap of faith. It's kind of taking that leap despite not knowing the answers. Or despite not knowing what's behind that bend in the road. I don't know, let me go and find out. Like, let's go on this new adventure in whatever facet of life that adventure is. Maybe it's an inner journey, but then we'd probably see the Hermit. He's more of the spiritual inner journey kind of card, whereas the Fool is the new beginning, like a new business venture maybe, or traveling somewhere, or starting something new with someone else. So you are having this kind of like, you want to start something new. I don't know so much if the excitement aspect of it that I feel from the card is present with you, but I feel like you feel very done with the Devil and the Four of Pentacles and the Eight of Swords. And trust me, I get that. You want to be done with that. You don't want that anymore. That's what it looks like to me. And that's completely understandable. But then with the crowning, then maybe it is time to start finding some answers. Some ways to answer these questions. And again, in your outside influence, you have the Moon, which is confusion and not knowing and not seeing things clearly. And the outside influence position, it is something that is affecting you, but you have not necessarily noticed it yet. Even though the energy is there, you might not recognize it for what it is. You might not see it clearly, And is the Moon related to the Eight of Swords? Is that because maybe you're like, I don't understand, why am I so stuck in my own head? Why I can't really get out of this? Is that the Moon then affecting you, and you haven't really recognized that kind of energy yet? But I feel like the Moon and the Eight of Swords are definitely connected. But like I said, both the High Priestess and the Moon are also cards of intuition. So is this something that maybe you can't think out, that it's more about just a gut feeling, kind of, this is the answer, I feel like this is the answer. And I feel like with the Fool sitting next to the Moon, it is kind of this leap of faith kind of thing. Like, yes, I don't have all the information, but I'm going to go anyway. And then I will find out the information with the Page of Swords. And in the future, then I might turn into the High Priestess. Like, the High Priestess in the future, it can be someone else. Maybe it's someone keeping secrets, but you don't really have any deceit cards or lying cards. So I don't think that's what it is. It looks more to me like this is you. Especially, like I said, with the Page of Swords in your crowning energy. But then in your hopes and fears position, you have the Hierophant. And is this what's making you feel stuck? Because the Hierophant is some great things. It's structure and it's commitment. It can be about marriage. It can be about higher education and all these kind of things. But it can also be rules, regulation. It can be societal norms. It can be religious rules. It can be just rules within a family. Stuff that you've grown up with. Is that something that the Devil is connected to? Like habits or old patterns of being? Is that connected with the Hierophant? Because it's, it's kind of like nature versus nurture. Where we have things of, we have ways of doing things and ways of thinking that go back to when we were children. I think a lot of people do. Maybe things we haven't really questioned because, hey, that's just what we've always done. Because the Hierophant is conformity and tradition and rigidity. Like, is that kind of what is holding you down? Are you having a difficult time with that kind of thinking or that kind of energy? But I feel like you kind of come back into your own. The outcome is the Knight of Wands, which is this fire and this excitement. And he's very fast as well. He's one of the faster knights. Like, in terms of speed, it's Knight of Pentacles, Knight of Cups, Knight of Wands, and then the fastest one is the Knight of Swords, at least to me. But he is this, force to be reckoned with. He is fast, he is passionate, and he comes in and everyone's paying attention to him and looking at him. And is this your kind of energy coming in? Do you meet someone like this? I do feel, looking at this, that it's very much about what's going on in your head and how you're doing. Yes, there can be some other person with the Three of Pentacles in the past. That can be that you planned something with someone else. And I'm not saying that you are single currently. Maybe you're in a relationship. Maybe what you're worried about is some higher form of commitment with the Hierophant in your hopes and fears. Maybe the Fool starting something new and a new beginning is something like a new phase of the relationship. But then, like I said, in the outcome, you do have this fire energy, your kind of energy. And like I said, you do have some important questions to ask yourself and then try and find the answers for. But then you do have the help of this Page of Swords energy. You have the new beginning kind of leap of faith energy with a fool in your feelings. You have the potential of a High Priestess in the future, which is excellent if you want answers. And then the outcome is your kind of fiery, action-oriented, lovely energy. And I think you definitely have some heavy energies, but you do have energies that can serve you so well as well. Like, you have the potential to do a lot of things with these kind of energies. And they are there for you to utilize, if you will. So that was your reading for this time around. And I really hope that you found a message, like I said at the beginning of this video. And I understand that it won't resonate with everyone, which is unfortunate. I wish it did. But, you know, it is what it is in the end. But I really hope you enjoyed the video, and like I said, I hope there was a message for you. And if you do want more information, if you want to book a reading, you know, my email is in the description below. If you did not get a message from the general reading, then maybe a personal reading will be more effective. So if you're curious, like I said, in the description below, you'll find how to contact me and some pricings. So, did you prefer the old readings I did? Did you prefer these love readings? I thought I'd more hone in on one area instead of, it just seemed a bit scattered to me, the old way I did things. You know, I'm playing around, I'm figuring out what I like to do and what works for me as well. So, you know, did you prefer the old ones? Do you like these ones? Do you like that it's love specific? Those are some questions I'm putting forth to my lovely audience. And once again, thank you so much for watching and supporting my channel.